without further ado, I'm just going to let Debbie take it off from here. And please, I hope that you are here with your pen and your paper. I am here with my pen. My paper is here to write down everything that I'm going to be learning, because the truth is, see, even if you've heard this, whatever Debbie's going to say before, you wouldn't have heard it the way she's going to say it. So you want to pay rapt attention and get everything. Be in the moment. Remember the class yesterday. Be in the moment, because it is when you're in the moment that you're able to get everything right. You know, the way the person is saying it, you're able to pick it up and just use it immediately, applying it and interpreting it in your head. So, and we go.
All right,
Deborah,
hi everyone.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hi.
thank you so much, Adeojo. Thank you for the opportunity. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Good afternoon. It's so great to be here.
Hmm.
So it's day 3. I'm sure you've been having an amazing time so far. I wish I started with you, but anyway, so we're here today. I'm talking about setting SMART goals, really, but I kind of tweaked the model. And so I'm asking a question: are your goals Smarties? I added IES to SMART, so that is SMARTIES. And I'm going to get into that in a bit. I know you've learned or you've heard some things about goals. I just want to add 2 important points that I think would help us in really defining what we're set to achieve in the space of this 30 days. So I wanted to add that a goal is a tangible outcome and not processes. A lot of times when people say this is what they want to do, they are talking about the process, not really the outcome. I'll give you an example. So someone says that my goal for the year 2020 is to read a book every month. To many people, that sounds like a goal, but it really is not a goal. It's a process, because what are you achieving by reading a book every month? What is the tangible outcome? What is the reality you're trying to get to by reading a book every month? So a lot of times people are trapped in processes, they're trapped in the journey. And really, it's not the journey that defines the journey. It is the destination that defines the journey. It is the outcome that defines the method. So a lot of people, they just adopt methods. This person says, you read 3 chapters every day. Me too, I'll start reading 3 chapters every day. You just copy and paste journeys, and at the end of the day, you're just doing things, but there are no tangible results. Because the first thing you want to ask yourself before starting to plan or map out how to do anything is to say, what do I really want to achieve? What is the destination I want to get to? Where am I going to? Because if you don't have a clear destination, every way looks like way. So it is important that we know that goals are tangible outcomes. They are not processes. Say, I want to, if you're a spiritual person, say, I want to pray 3 hours every day. That is a process. What are you trying to achieve by making that investment? What is the return on investment? It is what you want to achieve that is going to determine whether praying 3 hours every day or whether reading a book every month is suitable enough to get you to that place that you're going to. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So another thing that I want to add about what goals, just explaining and understanding what goals are, is that goals are desired results that are sponsored by passionate reasons. Yeah, passionate reasons. For every goal, I said a goal is a desired result that is sponsored by passionate reason. So there has to be, emotions have to be involved when you want to get something done, because we're emotional beings, period. So you have to find a way to be emotional about whatever it is that you want to get done. Don't just say, a lot of times the reason why people, start something, you start out to get something, but they don't really continue or they give up easily, is because they're not really passionate about it in the first place. It's not connecting to them on a very personal and intimate level. There's no emotion that the end game, or the end result evokes in them. And so that's why many people often give up easily. So it's important that you know that a goal is a desired outcome or a desired result that is sponsored by a passionate reason. There has to be a reason. For every what, there has to be a reason. And for every what, there has to be a why. Okay. So I'm asking a question. Are your goals Smarties? Are your goals Smarties? The first, okay, so let me just run down what the acronym stands for, Smarties. So I'm talking about SMARTIES. So specific, S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable or achievable, R stands for relevant, T stands for time bound, I stands for environment, that is inner environment. Just write IN dash or hyphen environment. Then E stands for environment, and S stands for sustainable.
Okay, so sis, slow down there. You're gonna say that again so I can type it out for people who
Specific,
are watching. So specific,
measurable,
measurable,
attainable or achievable,
attainable or achievable, yeah.
relevant,
Relevant, relatable,
time bound,
time bound,
environment, IN environment. Or just write inner environment.
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 Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, environment.
Environment, yeah.
Environment. E, yes, environment.
Ah, I see. Environment, yeah.
Then sustainable.
I love this. Okay, sweet. Thank you.
All right. So the first one, specific. Your goal has to be detailed. It has to be defined. What that I love to use is when people say, this year I just want to blow. First of all, what does blow mean? I hope not. I hope you're not trying. Exactly. I hope not. Like, what does it mean? What exactly are you saying? You have to be very definite with your goal. You have to be very, very definite. And I think that a lot of times why people are not definite is because they've not really thought through it. What they have in their mind is just a wish. They have not really like a goal is not a statement. Like, it's not enough to write a statement. If by the time we start to talk about it, you see that for every one thing you want to achieve, there are so many other things to consider. It's like, in fact, you can write a goal down in a book and it's like 2 pages because you're already putting down the factors, the timeline, everything that you need to make sure that it gets done. So I want to blow is not a goal. I want to lose weight is not a goal. I want to see, it has to be specific. It has to be definite. I want to increase my financial, I want to increase or experience financial increase. And that is not even enough. You have to say, okay, by so percent, by so time. And it is in considering all that you start to talk about, okay, so what are the timelines? What are the strategies? What are the methods I need to adopt to get me here? So you have to be very definite with your goals. And another thing with being specific is whatever it is you're trying to achieve, at the end of the day, the purpose of having a goal is not to do the normal stuff, is to get stretched a little bit, to advance yourself beyond where you currently are. So in defining your goal, it has to stretch you a little bit. Yes, there's always the question of elasticity, like how much can I stretch? There are people that they are, I like to use the example of a staircase. I mean, there's some people that you're at the base of the staircase, yeah? And you just want to get to the top like that. You just want to stretch your leg. It's not possible. It's not possible. So you have to look at yourself, where you are currently, the resources at your disposal, the realities around you, and other things you're going to consider and ask yourself, so is this something that I can really achieve? But make sure that whatever it is you're setting for yourself stretches you in a bit, pulls you out of your comfort zone, however much or however little, so that by the time you've accomplished that goal, you know that you're no longer who you used to be. Something has been activated in you. Something has changed in you. And so by the time you're setting another goal and moving forward, you're starting from another level, not from where you started initially. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So specificity, it's important. The second point is your goal has to be measurable. And so I have 3 questions here. The first one is, how do you account for progress with your goals? How do you account for progress with your goals? Say, my goal for this 30 days would be to publish my first book. how do you track progress? How do you say, like, how do you break down that big goals into measurable timelines and say that, okay, I'll know that I'm on track if I write 2 chapters or 3 chapters a day. I'll know that I'm on track if I do this specific number of work every day. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to have a system to track progress. And that means that you're not just saying, oh, I want to have a book at the end of 1 month. You're sitting back and reflecting, okay, so with the kind of time and the schedule that I have, how do I create a system that makes sure that I'm able to write so number of pages? If my book is going to be 100 pages at the end of the month, how many days do I have this month? How many hours do I have to commit into writing a chapter or a page? Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to be able to track progress. You have to have timelines and landmarks. You have to have timelines and landmarks. Then the third one is that you have to have clear methods and processes. You want to lose weight. You want to first of all go and research, okay, you want to lose 60 kg. You don't just say, I will just start exercising. I'll start, pulling my weight or running around my compound and all that. How are you sure you're losing weight that way? First of all, I think the first thing you want to do is go online and do some research. How do I lose weight? How do I lose 60 kg in so number of time? You want to look for testimonials, people that have lost 60 kg. How much time did it take them to lose, 60 kg? What did they do? How can you adopt or adapt what they did, their methods, and create a system that works for you? If they registered in a gym and you can't afford it, how do you tweak the process to make sure, yes, to make sure that what situation you have works for you? So your goal has to be measurable. You have to have quantifiable systems and structures. And I think this is important because at the end of the day, we have to come to a point where we're not just achieving stuff for ourselves, we're doing things that can be replicated by others. So for example, I have written 2 books now. I know how I got to write 2 books. I know that like every other person, I am very lazy. I know that I can procrastinate for kingdom come. But somehow I have been able to create structures with certain goals like that. And so I can give you my own, I can share my method with you. Yes, it is replicatable. So I think that even in getting things done like that, and that is one of the things that kills businesses, I think, in Nigeria, for example, because you're just doing stuff, you're not keeping record, you're not monitoring progress, you're not building systems and structure around what you're achieving. And so you just come and tell people it is God. Meanwhile, you did some things, you're just not very mindful of what you did that was working or that is working or that won't work, So it's important that your goal is measurable. The third point is that it is achievable. At the end of the day, we don't want to write goals and say, this is what I want to do for this month. And at the end of the month, you have not done it. The essence of investing time is that it happens. It becomes a reality. So you want to ask yourself, this thing I'm trying to do, is it possible? Yes, with God, all things are possible. But do I have the kind of faith, the kind of work ethic, the kind of relationships, the kind of diligence to ensure that this thing becomes possible? Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to look at whatever it is that you have set out. Ask yourself, do I have what it takes to achieve this? You have never earned $1 million in your life. You don't have the systems in place. You don't have the structure in place. With your business, you've never earned $1 million. Then you wake up one morning and say, in the space of 3 months, you want to earn $1 million. First, your business doesn't have structure. There's so many things that are not in place. You don't have the templates, you don't have. So you have to ask, is this thing possible? And it's fine if it doesn't look possible, like with who you are right now. We're going to get to that by the time we get to the tail end. It's fine if it doesn't look possible now, because at the end of the day, if you see that, with my current state, with my current experience, with my current level of exposure, I can't pull it off. It's not for you to now say, I'm not doing it again, no, I cannot do this. To look at, okay, so what can I do? How can I build capacity? What can I leverage on to make this? This checklist is not to discourage you that, okay. It's just to help you see the ways that you need to, add more energy, to adjust, adjust, make adjustments, adapt, adopt, That's what this model is about, really. So you also want to ask yourself very important question that how aligned is this goal with who I am and who I am becoming? It's very important. That is
Still
why I
underachievable,
really,
yeah?
yes. And I think that kind of brings us to the question of relevance. You know, the fourth point is relevance. I think you have to ask yourself, this goal that I'm trying to achieve, how does it contribute to who I am and who I am becoming? A lot of times people want to do stuff just because their friends are doing it or because that's the thing that people are doing now. For me, having having financial freedom and earning a particular amount of money is so important. But it's not just important because it's the normal thing to do. It's important because it's kind of sponsors an expression of my purpose and my calling and who I am becoming. So you have to be sure that what it is you want to do. I mean, you want to. I'm trying to find something very ridiculous that anybody can just think of. Can you help me? Something ridiculous that it really doesn't align with like what I'm sure you guys can pick up on that. Like you hear some goals and some intention. How does this connect with your purpose? How does this connect with who you are? How does this connect with who you are becoming and what legacy you're trying to
I want to
leave?
buy a car.
Yes. You want to buy a car. First, you have no end income. You're still in uni. Your parents are still sponsoring you. You still call home for pocket money every time. You want to buy a car. You don't have money anywhere to maintain the car. But you want to buy a car for status thing. Like, how is it relevant for where you are right now? For this level you are, for the level you want to come into. Say, oh, your friend can be your friend that you're in the same level or in the same whatever can have a car, maybe because they have a business or they have a sponsor or they have something they're using the car for, it's bringing extra income for them. But you can't just decide that you want something or this is the next thing for you when it's not really in sync with who you are and who you're becoming. So I really think that is important. So you also have to think about what kind of result is this goal accruing for me? And I think that it's not just result in terms of what is tangible, like what you can see. It's also the kind of work it does in you, the kind of mind shift that occurs in you.
This particular question, is this
I'm still in
under achievable?
relevance still.
Okay, relevance
so
now.
Relevance,
okay.
yeah, I'm moved to, yeah. You want to ask yourself, so how is this, what reward, what is this doing in me? How is this helping me both within and without? And I think time bound, we all know time bound. You have to have a time frame for it. Like it's not, I'm going to I feel like I'm using the same type of goals. The kind of goals I'm useful. Okay, so let's say at the end of 2020, I want to have so amount of money in my account. That looks like a goal. So you know that by the end of 2020, that is when you will now say that, has this thing been achieved? And you know that you're working towards a particular deadline. But say you just want to have so amount of money, there's no time. So there's no pressure on you. You can sleep, you can choose not to work, you can choose not to explore opportunities. In fact, if you don't have timelines, if your goal is not time bound, it doesn't put fire under you for execution. I have realized you can be very calm. But when you know that it's like having a deadline from work. Like they tell you to turn a paper in. Ah, God, come and see me. I lose
sleepless nights.
You will wake up.
You will get coffee. You will get everything. Put your leg inside water.
I am telling you. In fact, it doesn't matter if your favorite show is on TV. It can wait.
I'm telling you.
Everything stands still because you have to get it. There is a deadline. So for every goal, there has to be a deadline. This is when it's. In fact, I like it when you commit yourself, Seth. If you commit yourself, like there's a deadline. For example, I know writers do that a lot. They can speak to a publisher or just make an announcement that so book is going to be launched.
It's coming out this day.
They have not said
inspiration must come.
All these writers block. It travels because there's a deadline. You don't, so many things are at stake. I'm telling you, so many things are at stake. So you're just like, it has to happen. It has to happen. So you have to have a deadline, a time frame for your goals to be achieved, for it to be done. The ones that I added, that is the IES. So the I stands for environment. You're asking yourself, for this goal that I am setting, do I have the kind of mindset? Do I have the kind of um, mental exposure, knowledge, technical skills, the critical skills that is needed to accomplish it. That is very important because, and if you don't have it, it is okay. So you want to start asking yourself, what kind of exposures do I need for me to be able to, get this done? What kind of exposures do I need? Are there conferences I have to register for? Are there mentors I need to submit to? Are there knowledge industry experts that I need to connect with? Are there kinds of people I need to approach to get counsel? Say you have a business and you have a goal to you have a financial target for your financial year, and you're like, okay, this is what we want to bring in. Do we have the structure in place? So beyond personal goals that you're thinking about, the mindset and all that, you're talking about, do we have the structure in place? Do we have the work culture that would help us? Do we need to start to go for trainings? You're just thinking, and action plans just by looking at your inner environment, in terms of mindset and all that, and looking at the kinds of areas or places in your life, or that, just areas where you need to build capacity to be able to achieve your goals. So you're thinking of trainings, you're thinking of courses, you're thinking of books, you're thinking of the kind of networks that you need, you're thinking of anything that will just help you to build inner capacity to make sure that that goal is achievable. Then talking about environment, first of all, Nigeria can be a very difficult environment. if you're listening from here, it can be, because we have so many infrastructural deficits. Power doesn't work. I mean, there's just a lot of things. But the truth is, it doesn't matter how hard we complain. There are people that, in spite of the environment, they're making it.
True.
So you have to look back and say, okay, so I am in this place. I am in maybe you're trapped in a technological backward place. Maybe you are like, okay, for example, like today now, I'm presently not in New York State. I'm somewhere in a cottage somewhere. I had to go and find all through the house. I had to see. I did the setup. I was just before, because I know that I can't be walking up and down because I have to do a video. So I have to find, like, where's the network?
Where's the network?
And I have to make sure that, so that is creating the environment that helps you to achieve your goals. So when you're thinking about your goals, you're not just thinking about the SMART, you're thinking about the inner environment, you're thinking about the external environment. Say, for example, you have, pardon me, maybe we're going to ask questions at the end of the day, and we can,
yes,
I can have more practical examples
that
applies to you. So pardon me if I'm using too many writing examples now.
It's fine. We have writers here, actually. Almost 4 of the people here are writers. So you are in spirit.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, brilliant. Oh, brilliant. So when we're talking about environment, say you want to publish something at the end of the month, and you know that you need at least 5 hours of work on your PC, and you stay in a place where the power supply is not constant. How do you manipulate? Yes, how do you manipulate that environment? Is there someone in your relationship network that you would have to maybe speak to and say, oh, girl, I'll just come and spend maybe 2 hours with you. My battery will charge. I will go home and continue. You have to look at the environmental factors. There are some goals we also have that we need a better relationship network to help us. Like the kind of people that we know right now, they are not, we need a better, you understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
We need other kinds of people. And sometimes it takes investment. It takes you paying to be a part of a network, paying to be a part of a coaching program, paying to be a part of an accountability program. Because you know that the kind of people that will sign up for those kind of courses and all, there are people that are going somewhere too. So you're looking at your current network, like, is this conducive enough for the kind of results I have? For example, if you want to save, if you want to start to invest, and you are in a company with friends and all that all they think about is buying.
Party.
I'm telling you,
party
they're just thinking about liability expenses. You know that you will choke yourself. So you need to find a way to make an environment work for you. Creating an enabling environment is so important. You're talking about the space, the tools, the networks and the relationships that will help you to achieve this goal. So like I've been saying, it's fine if you don't currently have it, but it's important that you think about that the environment that enables or that will enable your goal, so that you can begin to manipulate and work things out with your current environment. Then the last one is sustainability. So you want to think about your goals, particularly the process, the journey, the things that you're trying to do to get it done. Can I sustain this method over time till I get this done? A lot of people don't get to achieve certain goals because they choke themselves. Like I was citing an example with trying to climb up a flight of stairs. You have to do it. You have to understand what your current level of elasticity is so that you don't snap. And I recommend that you take maybe maximum of two goals at a time. I mean, there are goals that you can work on concurrently, like simultaneously.
Side by side.
But you don't want to choke yourself. That's why it's important that you break down your goals into short-term goals.
Yeah.
And you find, you look at all the areas of your life that you're trying to, advance and accelerate, and you're trying to find those ones that can work together, those ones that you can't get started until you finish a particular one. Because by the time you encumber yourself with a lot, it becomes possible to, possible to, continue and sustain what you've started. So don't try and be losing weight at the same time you're doing this, at the same time you're doing that, and you're doing another thing, and your body is just like, she wants to kill me.
Hello.
And at the end of the day, you're just like, what is this for?
I can't kill myself.
I mean, you just give up. So it's important. Then when you're thinking of sustainability, so you're looking at scalability. And this really applies to our processes, the processes that we, like I said earlier, it's important that you have a system that you can replicate. And not only just replicate, you can scale. Like you can just turn up a notch, turn up a notch, turn up a notch. Say, one of my goals this year is to deepen my knowledge in my area of expertise. So one of the strategies that I have developed for that is to read at least a book in that area. That's why I said that the end is very important. And I've heard people that they say that 2020, I want to read at least one book every month. So because that is their goal, they just read any kind of book. It is not adding anything. Today you read this one. What are you trying to achieve exactly? Yeah. So say I want to deepen my knowledge in my area of expertise. And I say one of the things that would help me besides training and all that, there will be different strategies. Say is reading one book on this subject matter, very specific, every month. So I'm doing it every month. I've done it for 6 months. By the time I'm used to that routine, I can say to myself, you know what? I know
it's not part of you.
Yeah, maybe I can do too. I mean, I'm stretching myself and I'm so comfortable in this. I can stretch myself a bit more and say, okay, I'm going to read 2 books every month. By the time it's the 9th month, I can say, you know what? This is beans and akara for me.
Let's scale it up to 3.
I'm just going to scale it up to 3 and that helps you to, you go deeper because you're doing more and all that. So that is the end of my. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm trying to be professional. I hope that it's been helpful.
Oh, please. Oh, sorry, I didn't establish that when you started. No, yes, be professional, but this is a fun space because we want to ensure that we are also feeling our vibes, and just a bit playful. So please don't be too serious. It's not that deep.
Thank you. It's not very deep.
Breathe.
All right, so I hope that this helps us,
Wow, I have like how many pages of content now? Wow, 3 pages. This has been fantastic.